January 8th of 2017, Sunday, and we had an incredible morning. He preached a message called Consumed by the Call. And I literally spoke into every person he'd ever laid hands on, spoke over us, spoke over the kids. My one daughter it was her 21st birthday. She was with my best friend and her best friend on a cruise. My middle daughter led worship that morning, and my son, who was 11 at the time, came forward and gave his life fully to Christ. It was such a powerful time, and we have a video of the whole thing. And I gave a prophetic word, and we came home. We're eating fried chicken because that's what pastors' families do. So we're eating fried chicken for lunch. And my husband looked at me and he said, "Man, this was the day of the Ivies." And I was like, "What do you mean, the day of the Ivies?" And he said, "I couldn't be happier with where our family is and what's going on in our life." Little did I know I would need those words so badly within a few hours. But he said, I'm headed to the store. I'm going to go get our coffee and creamer and everything so that we can sit down and make plans for the next week. I stepped into a conference call with a team of people that I worked with. And when I came out of the call, it had run a little late and he wasn't home yet. And I just felt something's wrong. And so I told the kids, "Hey, I'll be right back." I grabbed my keys, and the store was about 5 minutes around the corner. And I rounded the corner and I saw the fire trucks and police officers. And he was on his way home in a semi just going too fast through an intersection. One minute he was here and the next minute he was in heaven walking the streets of gold. And my life was falling apart. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The to go from the mountaintop to the valley so quickly.
And the interesting thing was he made the statement in the message. He says, "He is no fool if he would give the thing he cannot keep to gain what he can never lose." And he was talking about Jim Elliot. And of course, Jim Elliot gave his life to Christ when he landed with I think it's the Anka Indians. Anyway, they killed the whole party when they landed. And they found that written in his journal. And we had sung the song, "He is no fool if he would give the thing he cannot keep to gain what he can never lose." There's a song by Twyla Paris, and we had sang it that morning. And at times that was comforting to me to know that he had made that statement that morning. Yeah. And it actually ended up, we found out later that January 8th was actually the day that Jim Elliot went home to be with the Lord too.
Oh, wow.
It was God's confirmation that everything is planned and Father filtered, even as hard as that decision was.
Wow. That's a hard thing to hear in that moment.
It is.
What How did you respond in that season? I can imagine if I went through something like that, if I didn't have that deep-seated relationship with God that I do now, I can respond to things a little stronger now than I used to in the past, but I'm still growing and learning. In that moment of just, oh, what did that look like?
Yeah, it was probably the worst time in my life to be able to have to share that with my kids, have to make a phone call to a cruise line because everybody was already posting on Facebook and I didn't want her phone to start blowing up and her get the news that way. So I literally am on the phone with my oldest daughter telling her the worst news she could possibly hear. All of that a blur. Thank goodness I had community. People were surrounding us pretty quickly. And I would just encourage everybody, don't wait till the trauma to start looking for friends. You need some godly friends. You need to surround yourself with a community that loves Jesus and loves you. Be careful who those people are. And I made a phone call sitting there waiting on the police officer to come back to me to confirm that I was about to get the worst news of my life. And I had two friends with me and several already praying because I had that circle. And so right after having to tell my kids this, I remember having to go into my bedroom and realizing this is real. This is really happening, right? There's this surreal part of you that's, I'm going to wake up any moment and this is not going to be real. And being a pastor's wife brings a new combination to the loss because not only did I lose my husband, the love of my life, and lose the father to my children, but I lost my pastor, my leader, and I lost my identity because I was the pastor's wife, right? I
Mm.
don't even know how to tell people that, who I am at that point because that's who I was. I went into a community and I was the first lady of the community because my husband was the pastor of the church. I had I never had to pick a church, right? I went with my husband. All of these things are now very new to me. I'd sat on the other side of a table while a widow mourned. I'd held the hand, but I'd never been on that side of the table. And I remember going into my bedroom and my friends being with my kids, and I thought, I just have to have a moment. And I had to go to God authentically. I was mad. And one thing I'd learned about my relationship with God is I could be honest. He had big enough shoulders for that. And what I don't say doesn't mean he doesn't know what's in my heart anyway. And so I was a puddle on the floor. I just fell down into the carpet of my master bedroom. And I just told him, I don't like this and I don't understand, because we were doing everything right. We loved you. We served you. We've given up our life. We've sacrificed. We've done all the things. So this doesn't make sense, right? This doesn't make sense. But after pouring that out and feeling the hurt of my kids and the loss of what we were feeling, God always takes you back, and the Holy Spirit will always take you back. And I remember saying to him, God, all I'm asking of you is every tear that's hitting this carpet right now, and this physical pain that I thought was just emotional, that actually is very physical, my heartbreak, I need it to have purpose, and I need you to use it for your glory. Otherwise, I don't think I can experience this if there's not some purpose to it. And little did I know he was about to take me up on that.